Hey, baseball fans. Welcome back to Tits and Streams, your go-to channel for daily baseball predictions. I'm Koken, and I'm here to give you the inside scoop on today's top matchups. Before we dive into today's picks, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on our latest predictions. If you enjoy our content, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends who love baseball and sports betting. Our channel relies entirely on your support. We don't have any sponsors, so every like, share, and comment helps us keep going. If you'd like to support us even more, consider donating by pressing the thanks button under this video. We love hearing from you. Drop a comment below. Your feedback makes our channel better. All right, let's get into today's predictions. October baseball is here at last, kicking off the 2024 MLB playoffs today. After a grueling 162-game marathon filled with hot streaks, injuries, and record-breaking moments, the hunt for the World Series crown begins. Today we have predictions for 4 games, so let's see who's ready to make their mark in October. First up is the wild card showdown between the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros. In Game 1 of the American League wild card, the Astros will square off against the Tigers in what's set to be a best-of-3 series. The team that grabs 2 wins will move on to the next round, and for the Astros, a win would send a clear message to the rest of the playoff field. On the other hand, I can't help but wonder how the Tigers even made it this far. It's hard to believe that. Back on August 11th, Detroit was sitting at 55-63, 11 games out of a playoff spot. But they didn't just sit there. From that point on, they went on a remarkable 31-12 tear, the best record in baseball, during that stretch. So, the Tigers are coming into the postseason as the hottest team in the league, and they've got the momentum to challenge anyone, even a team as strong as the Astros. Both teams wrapped up the regular season with similar records, with Houston edging Detroit by just 2 games. It's worth noting that both teams started the season sluggishly. The Astros, once down by 10 games in the AL West, clawed their way back to win the division, though they still find themselves in the wildcard round. It's also worth pointing out that, in recent years, wildcard teams have had a knack for making deep postseason runs, sometimes to the World Series. The Tigers, though, have been on fire at the right moment, and they're sending their ace, Tarik Skubal, to the mound. Skubal has been lights out this season, boasting a 2.39 ERA, 228 strikeouts in 192 innings, and a stingy 15 home runs allowed with only 35 walks. Even though Skubal hasn't pitched in the playoffs yet, his recent form speaks for itself, with a 1.0 ERA over his last 3 starts. He's also a strong contender for the American League Cy Young Award. For the Astros, they'll be countering with Framber Valdez, who's no stranger to postseason action. Valdez put up solid numbers this season with a 2.91 ERA and 169 strikeouts over 176.1 innings. But his performance in last year's playoffs was rough. He lost all 3 of his starts and posted a bloated 9.0 ERA in just 12 innings. Still, his 2022 postseason form, where he recorded a 1.44 ERA across 4 starts, gives Houston hope. Valdez has been sharp recently, with a 2.32 ERA in his last 3 starts. Offensively, Houston clearly has the upper hand. They hit .259 as a team during the regular season, compared to Detroit's .232. In the last 10 games, the Astros have even turned it up a notch, hitting .262, while the Tigers have struggled, managing just .228. All in all, this series is shaping up to be an interesting one. While Houston has more power at the plate and is better at putting balls in play, Detroit holds an edge defensively and on the base paths. Starting pitching depth could be the key difference here, and Skubal seems to have a slight advantage. But Valdez's experience and recent form keep things competitive. While both teams have strong arms on the mound, I expect the bats to be the real story here. The way these offenses have been swinging, I think we'll see more runs than expected. My call? Take over 6.5 on total runs in this wildcard opener between the Astros and Tigers.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Kansas City Royals and Baltimore Orioles. As we gear up for this American League wildcard clash between the Baltimore Orioles and the Kansas City Royals, it's clear that both teams have a lot riding on this game. The Orioles, who made the wildcard last season only to be swept by the eventual champions, the Texas Rangers, come into this year's matchup with a chip on their shoulder. They fought hard to take the AL East title but came up short, landing them once again in the wildcard round. However, this time, they come armed with a key addition to their rotation that they hope will tip the scales in their favor. Baltimore made waves when they acquired Corbin Burnes, one of the top pitchers in the league. Burnes is undoubtedly talented, boasting a 2.92 ERA this season, but there are cracks in his armor. His strikeout numbers have dipped significantly, down to 181 strikeouts over 194 innings, which is about 15% below his career average. Additionally, he's given up more hits this season than ever before, allowing 165 hits across those same innings. This increase in contact could be a troubling sign as the pressure mounts in the postseason, especially when we consider Burnes' shaky playoff history. His last outing in the playoffs was nothing short of a disaster, as he allowed 4 earned runs, including 3 homers, in just 4 innings of work. The big question for Baltimore is whether Burnes can handle the playoff heat this time around. But the Royals are not here to simply make up the numbers. They've been one of the surprise packages of the season. Despite not being considered serious playoff contenders at the beginning of the year, Kansas City has managed to punch their ticket to the postseason. Much of their success can be attributed to their breakout star on the mound, Cole Ragans. Ragans has been nothing short of dominant, putting up a 3.14 ERA while racking up an impressive 223 strikeouts over 186 innings. What makes him even more dangerous heading into this wildcard game is how he's closed out the season, posting a stellar 1.42 ERA over his last 3 starts. While Ragans has had some control issues earlier in the year, especially with walks, he's tightened things up down the stretch, showing he can shut down opposing lineups when it matters most. Offensively, the Orioles have a slight edge, statistically speaking. They've hit more home runs, drawn more walks, and posted a higher on-base percentage compared to the Royals. Baltimore's team batting average sits at .247, just a touch above Kansas City's .244. But those power numbers and on-base skills have helped the Orioles push runs across the plate in key moments. However, postseason baseball often throws statistics out the window. Momentum, confidence, and timely hitting often make the difference in October, and Kansas City has proven they can ride that wave. One area where Baltimore has the advantage is their bullpen. The Orioles relievers have been reliable throughout the season, locking down games late with consistent performances from their closer and setup men. This could be a key factor, especially if Burnes can hand over a lead after 5 or 6 innings. However, the Royals' bullpen has been no slouch either, and they've shown they can hold their own in tight situations. In a one-game scenario like this, both teams will likely rely heavily on their bullpens, and it could come down to which one blinks first. After analyzing both teams, I have some reservations about Corbin Burnes heading into this do-or-die matchup. Despite his strong ERA, his declining strikeout numbers and the increased hits allowed Rays serious concerns, especially in the high-pressure environment of playoff baseball. Meanwhile, Cole Ragans seems to be peaking at the right time for Kansas City, with his strikeout stuff and the ability to keep hitters off balance. His recent performance suggests he's up for the challenge, and I believe the Royals have the edge in this pitching duel. This wildcard game might be the most evenly matched of the postseason, but given Baltimore's struggles in the playoffs last year and Burnes' unconvincing track record in October, I'm backing the Royals to pull off the upset. Kansas City has been riding a wave of momentum, and with Ragans pitching as well as he has, I like their chances. With the plus money on the Royals, I'm confident they'll find a way to advance. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The third prediction for today is for a game between the New York Mets and Milwaukee Brewers. I'm looking at this matchup between the Milwaukee Brewers and New York Mets in Game 1 of the NL Wildcard Series, And I have to say, the Brewers seem to have the upper hand here. They're sending Freddie Peralta to the mound, while the Mets are going with Luis Severino, who was originally supposed to pitch in the second game of a doubleheader earlier this week. But after the Mets pulled off a dramatic win in Game 1, they adjusted their rotation, saving Severino for this crucial game. Here's the thing about Severino. He's been great at Citi Field, no doubt, but once he's away from home, things get shaky. His road stats are a real concern. He's posted a 5.0 ERA across 84.2 innings on the road, and his performance in his last 3 starts hasn't been any better, with his ERA climbing to 5.62. The fact that 2 of those starts came against strong playoff teams like the Braves and Phillies only makes this matchup tougher for him. And let's not forget, Severino hasn't exactly thrived in postseason play. All this makes me doubt how well he'll handle the pressure in Milwaukee. On the other side, the Brewers have been finding ways to win, especially against right-handed pitching. They may not have been lighting up the scoreboard, but they've been effective, and their regular season dominance over the Mets proves that. They won 5 of the 6 games between these teams this year, including a series win just last week. That gives them a lot of confidence heading into this wild-card game. Freddie Peralta might not have the strikeout numbers he's shown in past seasons, but he's still been solid, especially after the All-Star break. Early on, he struggled a bit at home, but he settled down and now holds a home ERA of just over 4.0. In his only start against the Mets this season, he went 6 innings, giving up just 1 hit and 1 run, a solo home run. That kind of performance shows me he's more than capable of handling the Mets lineup. The Mets are facing some serious fatigue after having to play a doubleheader just to secure their playoff spot. Now they've had to jump on a plane and get ready for this game with hardly any rest. Combine that with a bullpen that's been stretched thin, and I don't see how they'll be able to match up against a rested Brewers squad at home. When I look at all the factors, I believe the Brewers are in a great position to take this game. They've been one of the most profitable teams for bettors this season, and with Peralta on the mound, I think they have what it takes to win Game 1. I'm taking the Milwaukee Brewers here, and I feel confident about it. The 4th prediction for today is for a game between the Atlanta Braves and San Diego Padres. Let's jump into this exciting wildcard showdown between the San Diego Padres and the Atlanta Braves. The Padres are coming into this playoff game fresh and with one of the most potent lineups in all of baseball. You don't need to crunch numbers to see why. They've got star power all over the field, with big names like Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Luis Arias, Jackson Merrill, and Jurickson Profar leading the charge. This Padres offense has been relentless all season long. Each of these players stepped up in key moments throughout the regular season, making San Diego's lineup one of the most feared in the league. On the flip side, the Braves arrive after a grueling doubleheader against the New York Mets. The first game was a heart-stopper, but they fell short, losing 8-7 after Francisco Lindor launched a late home run. Atlanta did bounce back with a 3-0 win in the second game, but their bullpen was heavily taxed. Spencer Schwellenbach got the start and pitched well, but after he left, Atlanta had to burn through 4 relievers: Joe Jimenez, Raisel Iglesias, Aaron Bummer, and Pierce Johnson. The overuse of their bullpen arms might leave them at a disadvantage heading into this crucial series opener. As if that wasn't enough, the Braves' pitching staff is feeling the strain. Max Fried, who would typically be their go-to guy, is on short rest, and his availability is in question. Things got even more complicated when Chris Sale, expected to start in this series, had to deal with back spasms, putting his status in doubt. Manager Brian Snitker has expressed concern over Sale's health, and it's possible he might not even take the mound in this wild-card round. Without Sale, the Braves might need to rely on alternatives like Bryce Elder, A.J. Smith-Shawver, or Ian Anderson, although Anderson hasn't thrown a pitch in the majors this season, which adds another layer of uncertainty to their rotation. The Padres, on the other hand, will likely hand the ball to Michael King, who has been a force for San Diego down the stretch. While he's had some rough outings at home, King has been dominant on the road, boasting a stellar 2.65 ERA away from Petco Park this season. He's been in top form recently, finishing September with a 1.57 ERA over 4 starts, and continuing his solid performances from earlier in the summer. King's consistency on the road gives the Padres a big advantage in this matchup. But it's not just the pitching. The Padres have been one of the hottest teams in baseball in the second half of the season, with their offense firing on all cylinders and their pitching rotation looking strong. San Diego appears ready to take control of this series. The Braves, meanwhile, have limped into the postseason, worn down physically and mentally by their series with the Mets. While I believe the Braves still have what it takes to make a deep run in the playoffs, this game feels like it's leaning in San Diego's favor. Michael King's rest and recent dominance, paired with the Padres' high-powered offense, give them a great shot to take the opener. With Atlanta's uncertain pitching situation and a bullpen that's been stretched thin, I'm putting my money on the Padres to come out on top. San Diego has been playing some of the best baseball in the National League, and I expect them to keep the momentum going and put Atlanta on their heels. I'm backing the Padres in this one.